to be like, and you're live. I'm just like sitting here like a jackass waiting.
Yeah, we're currently being like broken down and sent across the Wonka vision to the Wonka receiver. The 70s version of Willy Wonka, I should specify.
It's absolutely true.
I love Gene Wilder.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Wandering Monster, the Monster Manual of Podcasts. My name is John Baltusberger.
I am Charles R. Bernard.
And today I want to talk about something. I have props. We don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but my daughter likes to play a game called Draw and Judge.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what she'll do is she'll choose one of us, either me or my partner, and that person will have to go against her artistic skill. Round one this time was water dragons. Now this,
I can see it. Yeah.
This is the water dragon my wife drew.
Not bad.
Has gills, has air bubbles.
Yeah.
Here is the one Aziza drew.
Very
nice. Has a finned tail and a dead fish in its mouth.
I love it.
Has webbed toes too.
The dead fish is a nice touch.
Round two was our pug Beans. This is my wife's drawing of Beans.
Love it.
And here, there we go, is my daughter's drawing.
I love it. Beans looks more like a humanoid in that one.
Well, she wanted to draw like her cheek flaps as wings. Yeah. So for the last one, I suggested the goodest boy.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are many ways to interpret the goodest boy. They could be our old bulldog Brick.
Mm-hmm.
It could be our snake Ashmondite. It could be me.
Yep. Yeah.
However, I was intending for it to be Godzilla. So my wife drew. Oh, come on. There we go. As you can see, Godzilla yelling, screaming, and destroying a city.
Very nice. Yeah.
And in the corner, because my daughter was insisting that I was telling her to draw Ashmondai, our snake, to do our snake.
To scale. Yeah.
To scale. Good Lord, no. My daughter took the other route where she started drawing the snake in a top hat holding tape. And then when she realized it could be Godzilla, she drew Godzilla taped up. So I guess what I'm saying is that sometimes someone will get a parasite and it's worth letting it just like make its way into the world, because sometimes they'll draw you pictures of Godzilla.
Yeah, nurture it, feed it. That reminds me of a previous guest that I brought to Wandering Monster, the Clive Barker character who has the collection of bugs living on his skin. Can't remember his name right now. It was a V word, I think.
It's John. It's me.
Yes. Yeah. He was the guy with the two mouths who could speak insect. You remember?
Yes. Is that from Aberrat?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Great books.
Yeah.
Friends, if you can't tell, we are discussing Parasites. Again, I'm not sure why I continue to do this charade as if the word parasite isn't just like down there in the corner of the screen for you to see. But that's what we're doing. Also, Charles, I think I've moved your name at some point, so it's slightly off center.
Well, so am I, so that works.
Or maybe it's the parasites behind your name that are making it appear off center.
My eyes are about to just pop out, and two worms will go like wiggling out. That should be an honorable mention here. One of the episodes of Creep Show, which is an excellent horror anthology show on Shudder, and they did a very disturbing episode about a weight loss secret that it's one of the all-time like gross out finales in an episode that I've seen, so check that one out.
One of the very first stories that I read as an editor for madnessheart.press was a story by an author named Jeremy McGargy. He's been in a lot of our anthologies. He's exceptionally good. he wrote a story called Lord of the Rings. Surprise, Tolkien's a thief. No, he wrote a book called a story called Lord of Worms.
Mm-hmm.
It's an excellent story, one of my favorites, to this day that I've read. Anyway, parasites. Parasites are a fascinating topic because
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything pulls people's fear quite the way parasites do. You know?
I myself am like not a big fan of them. I remember listening to an episode of NPR about how hookworms actually might be a treatment for severe allergies because the same chemical that they generate to like keep you from having an allergic reaction to their presence works on people who like that's the nothing else works, you know. It is 100% not fucking approved by the FDA. So people will like go abroad and like intentionally try to catch hookworm in their feet. And yeah, that story really stuck with me in the same way that like some Chuck Palahniuk short stories do, where it's just like,
The
one
same
of
way a
those.
hookworm might say, "Get stuck
Yeah,
in your feet." Um,
yeah.
okay, but I have a. You know how when you're watching any kind of medical advertisement, and then after they're like, "And you can live a full life with our drug."
Hmm.
Side effects may include not being able to live a full life.
Yeah.
Um, like I feel like that's like the you'll finally be able to breathe clearly, but you'll shed blood forever. It's like a pretty rough trade off.
Yeah, it is. I like I said, not FDA approved, but the Shutter episode that I referenced is based on a real thing too, which was a mercifully brief trend where people were like special ordering tapeworm eggs to help them
Yeah, I
lose
did that.
weight.
It's
Yeah,
rough.
and it's blah, no, not worth it. I'm sorry, I'd rather
No.
be fat and happy. Like,
Well, I mean, okay, I'm gonna straight talk or gay talk. Like I don't know, gay
yeah,
people can do
however
whatever
you want
too.
it.
Um, we have critters inside us.
Sure.
We have wee beasties.
If you don't, you're in
Um,
trouble.
the thing, yeah, for real. Like we drink probiotics specifically to
Hmm.
get said wee beasties, which are a symbiotic parasite, but a parasite. Um, the thing is, it's not that like having a parasite like a tapeworm is just like I mean, it is. It super is. But the problem is that, like, it also has a ton of terrible side effects that will end in death.
Hmm.
Like, it's really, really bad. Like when you refer to parasites, we almost universally refer to parasites that are harmful. We're not talking about the symbiotic type. We're not talking about venom or carnage.
Or that crazy
Um,
ass thing that grows a fish's tongue back for it. Have you seen that?
yeah, that's called a Baltusberger.
Ah,
Anyway,
yeah,
no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
Like
First it
even
eats
that,
the
like,
tongue, and then it axes the
yeah,
tongue, and just like takes a
okay,
little off the top for itself. It's the
that's
landlord of
we would
animals.
talk about that though.
Yeah,
We would because
yeah,
that's amazing.
yes.
Um, I have a list here,
Okay.
right beneath Charles. Charles, if you'll point beneath you, that's Charles's penis.
Hmm.
Um, no, sorry, my wife is not usually awake for these, and she's glaring at me a whole lot every time I called our daughter a parasite. Um,
I was just gonna let that one go right by without comment.
I have a ton. I have a ton of examples of parasites. I also have a ton of pictures to share with the audience today of various RPG parasites.
Neat.
But I figure I want to start at the very top with a special parasite that's kind of big right now.
Hmm.
A new monster manual came out. One of the monsters we've talked about it on the show before is the Elder Brain Dragon,
Hmm. Yeah.
which breath weapon can infect
Hmm.
whoever it breathes on
With
with
little bitty mind
mind flayer
flayers. Yeah.
tadpoles. The mind flayer curse. I'm
Mhm.
just going to put a picture of this tadpole up on the screen real quick. Um, the thing is about these tadpoles is once you get them, you are like the reason they're big is because A, this new dragon in this book, and B, these were featured in the new Baldur's Gate 3 game that came out.
Mm,
It's in the in one of the trailers. You find your character being infected with one of these things,
nice.
going straight into your eye with its lamprey mouth.
Nice.
Yeah, it's brutal. Now, from what I understand, and I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet. I will, because like that was like a ton of fun to me. Um, but from what I understand, starts giving you psionic powers,
Mm.
but the more you use them, the closer to like becoming a mind flayer you get.
I mean, there are worse fates than becoming a mind flayer.
Not many.
No, not many, but there
Like
are a
mind
few.
flayers like slavery. They're
Yeah.
big fans of slavery.
Yeah, and I don't like that. That's true.
And they
Yeah.
hate pizza.
Well, I mean, compared to slavery, that's a tiny injustice, but still one nonetheless.
Well, I'm saying like even if you're like, you know what, I'm willing to do slavery. Like,
No.
even if even if even if there are other downsides.
What people don't know is that most slave owners are actually gluten free. So
There oh okay. Oh, actually, I've recently learned that almost all the vegan crops are like 100% enabled through slave labor.
oh shit, really?
Yeah, like the like kale, agave, um the big staples of vegan diet are like perpetuated through exploited peoples
I
and
know that most coffee that you get is like grown in pretty horrible conditions. Although
chocolate
that's
too.
starting, yeah, that's starting to change. But not
I
good.
believe it was Hershey's that was like, yeah, I mean, you can set these laws, but we have if we can't use child labor or slave labor, you're not going to get chocolate. And like
Yeah,
most people are like, all right, well, I guess I don't get chocolate then.
people
Like,
who claim to be quote unquote free trade do not often read the fine print because there are a lot of restrictions that organizations like WTO, etc., like put on a international community's ability to restrict like how they do their labor. So it's like, yeah, Apple, you can come to China, but 8-hour workday, fuck you. We're gonna do a 20-hour workday and put suicide nets up around the. Or Foxconn is another classic example where like we do business with them on their terms, which do not include freedom. They include like a shitload of slavery and like working conditions that are right on the edge. Hey, you know what? We started out talking about parasites and got to capitalism, and it took
like
longer than I thought it would.
really quickly though.
Yeah,
Like
well,
super quick.
slower than I thought it would, to be
Okay.
honest.
I have to say there is a company out of Africa.
Hmm.
And what happened is this like CEO, like C level executive at Coca-Cola went to Africa and like checked shit out
Mm.
and like came back, sold everything he owned,
Mm.
moved his family to Africa and started up like grassroots companies for those communities to support themselves, including like education, only hiring indigenous like
Mhm.
people that were working there, training them and putting that money back into the community. I will look for the name of this company so we can tweet about them
Yeah.
because it's really cool. And like I said, like the CEO, like super greedo Coca-Cola guy was like, all right, yeah, I'm going to go sell Coca-Cola in Africa. Fuck. How about I try to make a difference then?
Yeah, yeah. It's it can be very ruthless. Like I remember there's a I was actually trying to find this the other day. There's a relatively famous like anarchist I guess you could call it like a piece of political theory, like an article, let's say, that talks about just like how all around you all the time is like exploitation and slavery because of the interconnectedness of the world economy and like how it runs at its like most fundamental level on like people being forced to do shit they don't want to do. And yeah, like I've been having like a lot of mixed thoughts about that and our good friend Warhammer 40K. I mean, them coming
Mm-hmm.
out and condemning Nazis is like That's cool, and that's actually going to do some good. But like when they say that there's that like the Imperium or the villains, or that like there's no that they're criticizing fascism in the books, like I don't know. I have thoughts on that, which I will write about at length eventually. So
I mean, I think that I think that like, and we've talked about this with Dune too. Like, anytime someone's like, okay, we need to make the future sucky, like
mm-hmm.
the obvious super sucky thing is fascism.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Yeah.
always is, which is like, okay, let's tie this in with not your kind of Satanism, but theist Satanism,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
where it's like, I believe in God and the devil. This guy's a real shit fucker, and he loses. I'm definitely siding up for him. Like, it's the same mentality of like, these guys are definitely shit fuckers and evil.
Yeah, man. Like I've got a actually I'll be posting a blog that's like kind of related to this later this week, because I've been doing the thing where I read like a lot of source material for these dum-dums, and like there's
From
a
parasites to fascist to theist.
again longer than I
Woo!
thought. But yeah, like there's definitely like a running theme of like there's literally no word for it other than anti-humanism in a lot of these
Mm.
thinkers. And
Oh
like
yeah.
I, as a college student, learning like the basics of political theory and philosophy, was hoodwinked into thinking that both Friedrich Nietzsche and Martin Heidegger were like, yeah, they kind of like got a little into the Nazi thing, but they were basically okay guys, and like they've been misquoted a lot, and like, nope, fuck the both of them, fuck the both of them all day. And like
As soon as you're kind of into the Nazism thing,
yeah,
you're a Nazi.
yeah. And in Martin
There's no
Heidegger's
dipping your
case,
toes in.
yeah, and in
And
Heidegger's case, he was like he went to his grave not apologizing for it. Something
Desiree and I
like
had a conversation with someone the other day where we were like, "Hey, this guy's a fucking Nazi," and the other person was like, "Well, you know, that's just a front." No, if if it's a
a
front,
front. Yeah.
that's a Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Okay,
yeah.
um, friends, if you logged in hoping to see some non-political, non-biased, fun chat about monsters that just talked about gaming and
uh,
nothing else, you
yeah.
came to the wrong fucking
Too
place.
bad. Too
Um,
bad for you. Um,
I
however, I have brought a monster tonight that I can tie into this
if
actually.
it doesn't have titties, then I don't care.
Yeah, it does actually, kind of. It can have anything you want, really.
Makes me so happy.
Yeah. So, um, I've been grappling a lot lately with the concept of utopia, which is definitely a political like idea. It's present in a lot of different strains of ideology, from politics to religion, etc. And it's like the idea of a perfect society, right? Of like a place without any trouble where everyone's happy all the time. And
Mhm.
the interesting thing about utopia is etymologically, and in its original use in the book Utopia, it was ironic because it means no place. So, you know, the idea is like nowhere is perfect. Like stop being a silly goose. And the pursuit of utopia has like fucked a lot of shit up. And among the shit it has fucked up is, you know, the Flash, Hal Jordan, Batman, Superman, basically the whole Justice League.
Mhm.
And of course, the parasite that I brought is the one and only Black Mercy. Are you
I
familiar?
honestly thought you were about to say Parasite
Nah,
because
no,
there
no, no,
is a
no.
villain called
Yeah,
Parasite.
yeah, yeah. No, this is a much more interesting sort of. I guess you could call it a villain. It's more of a monster because it doesn't really have sentience as far as it's ever portrayed. It's
Okay.
a plant that is native to like one specific, very distant and isolated planet,
Oh, the
and
Black Mercy. I know about the Black Mercy.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So certain villains, including a guy named Mongol, which is like
Mhm.
a hell of a name. That's like a Warhammer level name. But
Mm.
he likes to collect these things and like launch them at people. So what it does is, and I think this was actually made it to an episode of Supergirl, if I'm not mistaken, which I haven't actually seen, but
I've seen it in the Justice League cartoon.
Yeah,
For
that
sure.
too. And the fact that they've that's a deep cut. The original story that featured it, I believe, was written by Alan Moore during his DC days. And so what this thing does is it like latches onto your chest and like you're immediately paralyzed. I mean, there's no like time to fight back. Even Superman's reflexes like weren't fast enough. And this thing, as soon as it touches you and you're paralyzed, what it does is like psychically probe into your brain and find like what is so and so's perfect world, like what is the most like fantastic dream existence. And it's like a based on reality, it's not just like clouds and stuff, but it's like, so when for example Superman is subjected to it, his planet didn't blow up because they listened to his parents and like they saved the day, and like he became a great scientist like his father, and like all everyone he loves is alive, and like Kryptonian civilization is still around. And like it's interesting because in almost every case, from like Batman to Superman to everybody, like kind of the key to them figuring out that they've had the wool pulled over their eyes, because this thing provides you with like fake memories, everything, like you're in this other reality. And in every case, like the hero's like, wait a minute, everything's great, this is bullshit. And like I just love that that's such a fact of life that like every reader kind of feels that on one level. Like if things are too good, like you know,
I
got
was
got to
playing
kind of
Darksiders 3 not too long ago, the one featuring Fury.
mm-hmm.
And at one point the sin of lust has you in its thrall,
One of my
basically with this
favorites.
kind of Black Mercy style thing.
Yeah.
And like Fury's three brothers, War, Death, and Strife, are like, "Oh, you're gonna lead us. You're so good at this." And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they're not bickering and
Yep.
being
Yep.
kind of asshats is like, wait, fuck this shit.
They play
Yeah.
off that in Horus Heresy too. It's the temptation, the second temptation of
All right. We
Sanguinius.
just finished reading that. Like we just finished talking about that book the other day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But hey, it's right there. When he's on Davin, he has this hallucination that the Emperor's like, "You won the war and everything's perfect, but I fucked up real bad, son. So I need you to be Emperor." And Sanguinius is like, "The fuck? Like that's not something the Emperor would say."
Son,
And yeah,
I've got all these concubines for you. And Sanguinius
yeah,
was like, Dad, you didn't give us dicks.
yeah, exactly. What am I going to
No
do with
junk.
concubines, man?
Only men can be space marines, but no one has genitals.
Yeah, yeah. Or like, so that I've always been curious about that, right? So like the Emperor's children, they're like Slanesh's crew.
Mm-hmm.
And if it can't fuck, like I mean, I guess
They
there's like
can't like
torture and
Dark Angels can too. There's an instance in one of the books where he's like, yeah, I've got, but like, so here's the thing, man, like, why do we, this isn't anything. Okay. Here's the thing. A space marine can't have sex for a few reasons. hey,
well, for one,
hey,
they're like
folks.
9 feet tall. Yeah.
The main thing is, they would need to duct tape their partner to keep them from exploding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second, second, like, why would lust be why wouldn't it be auto conditioned out of Space Marines?
Yep. And
Um,
it is, I think.
now
Mhm.
Slanesh's whole thing, on the other hand,
It's
like
sensation.
once you're like, and Sneech, once you're
Mhm.
mutating and like devolving and developing new and weird mutations, like it doesn't really matter like what you were
The
programmed to
flesh
do.
change. Yeah.
But there's none like chaos magic using Space Marines that have also been like, I've had women. And I think that comes down more to like just like lazy writing and forgetting that Space Marines are essentially um uh
Killing tools.
well, they're not human.
Yeah.
Like that's like,
They're either abhuman or posthuman, depending on who you ask, which I
and
love that debate.
and I think it's fine for them to have human emotions, and maybe even the older Space Marines, like the especially since in Horus Heresy, it would have been really cool for like Luther, for
Mhm.
instance, to be like, man, I remember being able to get an erection. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wish I could do that again, guys.
Instead, it's always like something involving the parents or whatever. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, I think that'd be cool. Now, returning away from my beloved Horus Heresy, because boy, yeah, watch for my
I
multi-part
will
thing
not.
on that
I
coming
don't
up.
have 3 years to read your treatise. Your
It is gonna be. That's why it's multi-part. I don't want to.
it needs.
Don't want
Can you
people's
call
heads
it
to
the treatise
explode.
of Nicaea?
Oh man, I'm actually calling it the Technicolor Blood-Soaked Adventures of Cleft and Twain.
I once wrote an article on the El Shaddai game
Uh-huh.
that I called the like Technicolor motorcycle gangbang.
Love it.
Orama.
Love it. Yeah. And there's
God, that
who
game's
is it
good.
that the best title I've heard recently was Haruki Murakami has a book called Hard Boiled Wonderland I want to read. And Hard Boiled Wonderland is just a great title. Yeah, he's a great writer. So the Black Mercy, as I said, is like a perfect world machine. It drains your vitality while it's generating this, illusion. And generally speaking, the person who's been subjected to it is like pretty pissed when it comes off of them, because like it's kind of a dirty trick for this thing to be like, oh, Batman, your parents are alive. Oh, Clark Kent, everything's fine, and when they come back to like reality as it is, they're quite angry. But there's like a kind of refinement of the Black Mercy, which is if you use I guess there is literally like fear radiation in the Green Lantern universe.
Yeah.
And if you like nuke one of these things with enough fear radiation, you get yourself a red mercy, which actually like both paralyzes you and puts you into the worst possible world that like would exist in your own mind. So like your worst nightmare for all
That sounds like
time.
something Parallax would like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's that one is spookier to me than, I mean, Utopia would be creepy but like bearable, whereas I can think of a pretty bad fucking worst possible world. So yeah, unpleasant. Fuck those things. As much as I love monster ecology, their parasitism, any sort of psychic parasitism gives me the willies. Like I wasn't
Speaking
gonna
of
ever
parasites,
mention
I'm
Rick
going to
and
throw up a
Morty. Yeah,
picture real quick.
please.
There's a picture covering your face right now, so you
Oh,
can
thank
do
God.
whatever. You could take off your clothes, rub your nipples
My
together. I
human
can't do
mask.
that. This, I was just look, audience. I'm gonna be real with you. I just did an image search for D&D Parasites, and this hermit crab human hand thing popped up,
Ew.
and it's fucking rancid. Like it's so gross, but also so awesome.
That's
Um,
cool.
and speaking of body horror, I'm gonna go ahead and let the world know I put the finishing touches on the sequel to Abhorrent Siren today. Finished up. It's called Abhorrent Faith. It will be coming out
Ooh.
from St. Rooster books next year in February. All right, I'm putting the hand away. I just wanted to share that.
I enjoyed it.
That's I don't know what this monster is, but it looked cool, so I brought it up. It's Charles. Oh my god, I just there we go. We're back.
Was it porno for a minute?
It was thank God no. The Infestor. It looks like a little thing that would burrow into you, but if you look at the, and I'll make this big so everyone can see it except for Charles.
Yep.
If I make this big, there we go. There you go. Look at those words on your screen, audience. Large monstrosity. This is bigger than a human.
Hell yeah.
It has burrow. It can burrow into the ground, and a fungal growth attack.
That's pretty fresh.
It is also a neural parasite. The infestor attempts to infect one creature within 100 feet with a parasite, so it spits them at you.
Ah, okay.
And if
So
you
it's got like
fail your
spores.
charisma check,
Yeah.
you are charmed by the infestor.
Oh, it charms you. So it's like a siren mixed with a spore spitting thing.
It's like your buddy though, is the thing.
See, that reminds me. I was gonna try and only mention Rick and Morty as seldom as possible on here, but I have to say that the episode with the like memory parasite is pretty awesome. Like that's just like a spoofy take on, you know, high concept sci-fi, but I enjoyed it. The, you know,
I I got nothing.
okay.
I've never watched any Rick and Morty.
Yeah, they have a good episode every now and then.
I'm
It's
not against Rick and or Morty. It just
the
hasn't been a
fandom
thing.
is, yeah. Well,
Um
it's an episode based on the idea that there's this organism that lives in your memories, and anytime you like remember something, it kind of inserts itself and takes over the identity of like one person who is actually there. And so they have to kind of chase their way through their memories trying to avoid this thing. And yeah, it's great. But yeah, psychic parasites especially give me the willies. The idea that, you know, not only is it fucking with your brain, it's doing it to eat said brain in some sense.
well, you will like the fact that the last two parasites I have are not psychic.
Ah, thank goodness.
So let me bring up this picture.
Mm-hmm.
And Charles, I can't wait for you to like rewatch this later and see this fucking thing. This is a template you can apply to your weapon. This is a parasitic weapon template.
See, that I'm into. That's cool.
It looks like a normal weapon with an eyeball embedded in it and tendrils of biological matter that spread from the said eyeball.
Oh, what was the fucking anime I watched that had that in it? I think
Is
it
it
was
Parasite?
no, Death Eater or something like that. Soul Eater. Yeah, that one.
God Eater also has kind of like living weapons.
Yes, Soul Eater, which is kind of wacky, kind of action, kind of, I don't know. One of the like main participants has this sword that is like a very abusive parasite. Yeah, but it can
So
sing.
if you use a parasite weapon to kill, you get a charge for every monster or person you kill with it.
It's
Uh,
thirsty.
DM DM can allow you to like get more charges for other weapons, or for other monsters. Like if you kill a dragon, you can use those charges to double the weapon damage, regain health. However, the weapon is neutral evil.
Hmm.
It can speak and read and understand abyssal and common. It says purpose. Kill, 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 kill. Maybe you should kill your friends. Um,
I love me a cursed sword that like makes you more powerful, but also, you know, there's like the clocks a ticking, you know. I
I
think that's
like
a
that.
really awesome plot and game device.
I just like the purpose. Maybe you should kill your friends.
Yeah.
Like, is this the like evil Jewish mom edition? I don't know. Maybe you should come a doctor and poison some people.
Well, you know,
Um,
it's like Corn says about blood. It matters not from where it flows, from out your butt or out your nose.
well, I was gonna do corn voice, but instead I'm just gonna bring up this picture. So covering my face right now is a book called The Masticator Gate, which
Say what
is
now?
The Masticator Gate.
Hmm. So it's yeah,
Um,
it's a chewy gate.
yeah, which once you see the picture of this cover, you will say like, "Oh yeah, that's a fucking Chewy gate." This book is a Mork Borg adventure book,
Fuck yes.
uh, featuring 3 separate adventures. The story is that some kind of dark realm vomited up a bunch of demons,
Well, naturally.
and you have to stop the demons across 3 separate adventures, uh, and then get into this gate and survive like 4 rounds against this gate to stop the end of the world. Um, one of the cool things about this particular book is that it you can also get a deck of cards. A third of the cards have a demon head, a third of the cards have a demon body, the third of the cards have demon feet, and you can shuffle them up together and
Demon
build a
generator.
demon out of these 3 things, which
Oh,
each
that's
one
so
card has
fun.
its own abilities and stats, but all the cards like exquisite corpse together, so they actually build a demon you can look at.
That's so cool.
So in Masticator Gate, you are the parasite at the end of the adventure, which is fun.
That is fun.
So
I love it.
now we get to the point. Yep. I'm sticking with it. Now we get to the point of the podcast where I talk about how to use parasites in your game.
Yep.
Parasites are gnarly. They can be used in so many different ways. The first and foremost, you have things like the parasite that like grants you power, but the more you use said power, the more the parasite takes over, slowly turning you evil or insane or into a fucking illithid. Um, there's also the thing route, right? Where the parasite is evil and whoever has the parasite is evil. Actually, I guess the thing isn't really a parasite. It just like killed and then took over, right? Um, but point is like you could have a parasite that does charm or take over its host, and then you have an adventure about like, okay, well, who's the parasite? Is one of us the parasite?
An Among
Um,
Us type thing. I've
and
got a
one,
little something to interject here.
go ahead.
When you're doing this, mapping it out, keep in mind that parasites have a life cycle. Like they have
Mm.
a way that they're introduced, they have a way that they like feed or whatever, and then if they like win, they have a way to reproduce further, and if they lose, then you have a way to expel them.
So, two things. I love it. First is if you're going to go the like secret parasite, who should we trust? One thing I recommend doing is sending everyone in the party a note privately that says you are not the imposter. Um, and tell them to destroy the note and never tell anyone, and then never ever mention it again, ever.
Yeah, I love it.
Um,
That's like that's
Look,
some
this
MK
only
Ultra
works
shit.
once,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
boy, will it work.
That is some some MK Ultra level thinking. I love it.
But what's fun, what I like about that is, I spend a lot of time on various gaming groups and like and D&D TikTok and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Some of the suggestions I've thrown out have over the last few shows have been from that. What I like about this is that it's not toxic. Like no one's going to stop having fun from
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
It will build tension, but no one's going to be like, okay, well, you broke the fucking game, so fuck this.
No, it's just a
Which can happen.
little atmospheric tinge of paranoia is
Yeah,
what it
it'll
is.
be
Yeah.
great. The other thing that I really like about parasites that I think people need to do more often is when someone gets infected, start a timer.
Mhm. Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
even like you can if whether or not they know about the infection, just start a timer.
Mhm.
Don't tell them why the timer is there. Just tell them, okay, there's this timer. What I would probably do is have the character that's infected roll Constitution or roll Body or roll whatever body like health stat they have, and then start the timer. And like if they pass, maybe put the timer on its side or pause the timer, so they know like okay something's up with that character. Um, and then if you really want to like again as Charles said, these things want to spread. That's the whole
Mhm.
point. Let it spread. Have someone else do a check. Have a second timer, or say, okay, one second, I need to start a timer for this character. Have it be non-player characters. One of the things that have been really effective in games I've played in and I've run is non-player characters that the party cares about.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of jokes about how they'll always choose the like half goblin you didn't spend any time developing. But when I ran my 40K game with a bunch of Space Marine players, it was an Imperial Guardsman named McCurdy who was like gung ho to join the Space Marines and like just like go toe to toe with Xenos. So they're like, "All right, don't worry, mortal, we're here." And he was like, no, for the Emperor, I'm going with you. Come on, man." And they're just like, "Oh, this will fucking mortal screwball has like balls."
I hope they treated him like a mascot because that is 100% what the, you know, beloved space.
There was an ultramarine
Yeah.
and a lamenters in the party, so they were just like, "Oh yeah, no, this is totally okay and normal. He
I
is our
love it.
equal."
Yeah,
And
that's
then
cool.
I think there was a like a white scar that was like, "What? No, he can't run as fast as us. He's bullshit."
Yeah, like, so one of the things I really like about the Siege of Terra portion of Horus Heresy is that a lot of the action centers on human characters.
Mm.
And like there's still like Primarchs and Space Marines and shit, but like especially there's like one or two or three human characters who make it through like a ridiculous amount of punishment to
Mm.
like survive until the very end. And like they're they start out just kind of like jocular, and by the end of it they're just like, you're like, I wish he hadn't focused on the human toll of like this fucking like battle of Terra,
Well,
because
I
like
it,
good Christ.
it's mentioned later in, I want to say, the Space Wolf books that like
Mhm.
10,000 years in the future, people on Terra are still like, "Fuck Space Marines. Don't do
Yeah.
you remember what they did?"
Yeah, dude, like I
So,
am amazed that there's a planet left. It's out of fucking control, but I love it. I love every second of it.
um speaking of parasites, the Death Guard exist.
Yep.
If you if you want to see what I'm up to and you want to read my books, I keep a website up. It's beneath me,
It certainly is
www.kaijupoet.com.
beneath you, John. I mean, you're better than that.
I keep all, like, you can just go there and find the links to all of my books or buy books signed by me from there. You can also follow me on Twitter at Kaiju Poet and this podcast at One Moncast.
Correct. If you want to find me for now, the best place to find me is Twitter at CRBernard, CRBERNARD, or you can go to tinyurl.com/Charles R. Bernard, where it'll take you to my blog to a certain post where I've kind of like collected all the places my stuff is: anthologies, magazines. I have a novel out from Madness Heart Press called The Baptism for the Dead. More coming soon. More news about that next week, hopefully. And yeah, like that's where all my stuff is. John's already said, find us at Juan Moncast on the tweeters. And yeah, we are also many shows are up on what, your YouTube
Yep,
channel, John?
on
Or
the Kaiju Poet YouTube
yeah,
channel is where these are archived. Although
correct.
you can still catch them on Twitch.
Mhm.
Also, you can find Madness Heart Press at madnessheart.press, at
Correct.
mhp_horror,
Hmm.
or on Facebook, probably at Madness Heart Press. I don't know how Facebook works, but we're everywhere. And we have a lot of cool shit coming down the pipe. In fact, before we meet again on this show, next time we talk, it'll be in the middle of it. Coming from Godless Horror,
Hmm.
we are bringing you the 8 Days of Madness.
Hmm.
From the first day of Hanukkah to the last, we are going to be celebrating by knocking the prices of every single Madness Heart Press book and book by yours truly down to 99 cents. Also, every single day, we are going to be giving away uh, signed books, signed Jewish horror books, uh, to people who have shopped from Godless Horror. So lots of cool shit. It's going to be amazing. And also, whoa, so sorry. I will be doing a live event on the first night of Hanukkah for the Jewish Book of Horror, where I will be talking about the Watchers and Dibukim.
Nice.
So it's a wild. We have a lot of stuff going on. Hanukkah is literally coming, and as you know, that's exciting for me. Everyone else, like, Thanksgiving's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, Enjoy overeating, enjoy loving your family. Keep in mind that we need to fight for the rights and privilege of the indigenous Americas.
Correct. Yep.
Americans need to do everything in our power to ensure that the people who taught our ancestors to like eat and bathe and like hunt and survive get to eat and hunt, or not hunt, but eat, survive, and be comfortable and happy and
And thrive.
healthy
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Friends, thank you so much for joining us on this consensual journey we call Wandering Monster. My name is John Baldisberger.
I am Charles R. Bernard.
And we will be back next week during Hanukkah, during the Festival of Lights and Madness. But until then, stay safe, but stay scared.